Hello and welcome to the Don's channel. I am the Don Father. We're doing a live stream. Not done one in probably about 3 weeks, to be honest with you. So for anyone who's going to join, you're very welcome. Straight away, boom. Hello there, mate. 501st. 6 people joined already. Rapid. Thanks very much for joining, everyone. Hello. We're going to do a bit of an AFL chat, so if anybody's any questions or stories you want to talk about, feel free to fire away. Hi Megan, how are you? So go Essendon. I've actually got the Essendon thing on, that training top that I got off Conor McKenna. So I'm wearing that just now. Who do I go for? Good question. I've finally decided on a team after about 6 or 7 months. I think I always had them. I always had the soft spot as soon as I saw the red, white and blue. It's the Western Bulldogs, the mighty West. That's the team I like. So apparently, though, from everybody's feedback, nobody really dislikes the Bulldogs, which is rather strange considering I know you'll get the odd person that go, I don't like them, but most people don't really dislike them, which is strange. So I'm flying a little bit under the radar there with that one. So I think I've picked a pretty good team for a neutral, but I still absolutely love the sport. And what you'll get with me when I'm doing my reviews of the games in the coming season in 2020 will be an honest analysis of the game and how I've seen it, and that's regardless if it's the Bulldogs playing or any team playing. I'll always call it as fairly and as honestly as I can see it, completely unbiased, if you like. So a few questions coming in, a couple of St Kilda fans. Bulldogs were brilliant back as Footscray back in the day. Obviously, they had their financial difficulties. Dylan, thanks very much, mate. You're welcome for the call at 3 a.m. in the morning. I actually tried to call a couple of people, and I thought it was an absolute disgrace, Dylan, mate, that people did not answer the phone at 4 a.m. Melbourne time, at 3 a.m. Adelaide time, and probably 2 o'clock Perth time. Sorry, guys, for those phone calls. I ring at the off chance somebody was on one on the Friday night and wanting to talk, but unfortunately not. I'm on 90 subscribers, Aston United. Keep digging it out, mate. Keep going. Keep doing what you enjoy. I'm sure the numbers will grow with your channel. I got the merch, mate. Brilliant. You got a hat. Thanks very much for letting me know. Send me a picture through Instagram or my Facebook account with a hat, and I'll load it up as a prize winner on the channel. So thanks very much. I love how you're Scottish and you support the AFL. Yes, mate. As a Scotsman, it makes absolutely perfect sense to love the AFL, given our mentality. We're a fighting breed, and the AFL is a very physical game, highly contested. You don't pull out of a challenge. 100% commitment from everyone on the field. That's all you can ask as a bare minimum. Even if you're not having a great game, is giving it 100% commitment, chasing down every lost cause. You never know what can happen, and just digging in and giving it everything you've got. And that's what it's all about. That's why I love the sport. And I think that it does epitomise the Scottish mentality of fighting. We're maybe not going to dazzle you with technical, unbelievable technical ability in anything we do, but we'll certainly give it our all. I'm a Tigers fan. You got a favourite player, mate? Favourite player? I've got different types of players. I think Patrick Cripps would have been, or Lachie Neale would have been my shout for the Brownlow medal. But congratulations to obviously Nat Fife, who did come up this year for his second Brownlow medal in his career. So absolutely unbelievable achievement for him. Favourite player? I've got so many different players that I enjoy watching. It doesn't really matter. The team, Nat Fife was actually one of the first players I started to really enjoy watching. I'd watched a bit of Freo, a little bit more of Freo's games at the very start. I like Charlie Cameron, absolutely brilliant. He can turn it on just like that there. Sonny Walters was good to watch. As I said, the Lachie Neale and Patrick Cripps, really, really good players. Luke Hodge, I've just done a video of Luke Hodge. Absolutely fantastic to watch somebody like him. He gives it his all every game he plays. And that's the least you can expect from a player, but he epitomises the hard work and bravery on a footy field. I think we've lost a true AFL superstar since his retirement. It's going to be sad to see him retired, but in his team, you have Mitch Robinson, an absolute fighter, a player I absolutely adore watching. He gives it his all. He'd run through a brick wall for the team. So I absolutely fucking love him. Loads and loads of players that I really enjoy watching for so many different reasons. I don't really know if I have a favourite player. I just want to see good footy. Dylan, you couldn't be further from the truth, mate. Mason Cox is a project that I can't wait to see the end of. Do you know what? If Mason Cox had exactly what I was talking about as a bare minimum, if he had that little bit of fucking fight in his belly, a little bit of hunger, put his body on the line a little bit more, even if he had a shite performance in terms of he wasn't taking marks, he wasn't scoring goals, he was maybe just not picking out passes very well. If he was making little technical errors, I could see past that if he put his body on the line for the team. But he doesn't. He is an absolute big fucking pussy. 6'8" of sheer pussy. I don't like the man at all. I've got nothing against the human being, the person that is Mason Cox, but let's call it a day on this guy. He's got no fire in his belly. He's got no natural aggression. Get fucking stuck in. Get stuck into them. And he can't do it. He's an absolute wimp. So, of course, I don't like the Mason Cox project. Failed project. Mooney Moon, nice comment. Can't say much more on that. Do you live in Australia? Caleb Cassidy. I take that as an absolute compliment, mate. No, I've actually never set foot on your glorious soil down under. I've plans to come in 2021, which will be our summertime, your wintertime, June, July. 2021, we're going to visit for the first time. We're going to do AFL vlogging trips. So, no, I haven't been to Australia, but I can't wait to visit. So, thanks very much for that question. Nice shout out there, Dylan, with the bushfires. It's not a story I really know too much about. I know that there's bushfires going on right now, so thoughts going out to anybody who's affected by bushfires if they've lost their homes or even, hopefully not, their lives as well. I don't know the ins and outs of that story. I just see that comment there. There's nothing worse than natural disasters hitting your home, whether it's floods, fires, earthquakes, whatever. I wish them well in New South Wales. As I say, I don't really know how badly they're affected. 501st, you trying to wind me up, Don? Do you like the Richmond bandwagons? I think it goes with the territory of a successful football club. No matter the sport, if you're actually for any team for that matter, if you have a team that's dominant, you'll always get bandwagoners, or you'll always get people starting to, like, youngsters going, oh, I like them for whatever reason. But it comes with the territory of a successful team, doesn't it? And on the flip side of that, maybe people didn't really dislike Richmond a couple of years back before 2017, but with Richmond gaining so many memberships and support, because of the way they're playing on the footy field, you're going to have the polar opposite of everybody fucking loving to hate Richmond. So, as I say, nice comment, mate. Yes, go to the MCG and watch 100,000 Richmond fans screaming, yelling back. It's quite a scene to behold, I would imagine, seeing that there. Mitch, I'm a dog, a Bulldogs man, flying under the radar, as I say. Everybody's got a kind. I'm not speaking for all of you here, but for the majority of the people over the last 6 months, I don't mind the Bulldogs, actually. So, as I say, I don't really think I've upset many people with the Bulldogs thing, but I just like the red, white. I like the red, white, and blue Guernsey straight away. And I watched the Enforcers video with big Bazza Hall, who's fighting soon in the boxing. Barry Hall, when I seen him in that red, white, blue Guernsey, bulldozing folk, bulldog, bang, straight into folk. I thought, I like that. The British Bulldog as well. I thought, I like that team. But actually, in fairness to the Bulldogs, they actually are a pretty fucking good team. They've went and signed 2 decent players there. in the window. And I'd imagine that they're going to fucking slot straight into them. Bruce is somebody I like. Somebody says the Saints go Saints. Obviously, at the Saints, Bruce has come from there. Really good fighting spirit he has. And I think that'll match the Bulldogs' fighting spirit beautifully. So I could imagine them being one to watch. Or maybe, as you call it, a smoky next year. A couple of teams could potentially be smokies next year. You only need to look at what the Brisbane Lions achieved last year as a guideline that you should never write anybody's chances off at this stage of the campaign before it's even started. So it's a fresh slate for everyone. You'd imagine the big guns will be up there. Your Richmonds, your Collingwoods, probably the Giants will be in and around it still as well. And a couple of others that have been around there. You'd imagine they'd be up there. But there's no reason why you can't get a push on from some of the other clubs that were in and around 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, or even somebody at another team. Maybe Carlton will put a push on and get themselves in the top 8. You just do not know. Bye, Megan. You've got to go. GWS all the way. I remember a bunch of Tigers fans. Easy clap. Are you going to cover the next the up and coming draft? I think I will. I know I never really done much on it the last time. I had been really busy here, and it kind of diverted my attention from the draft. But I don't see why not. I've been watching a couple of interviews of some of the young guys who have already been secured with their new clubs deals in place. So congratulations to them for making the big time. Players obviously as well that have traded clubs or whatever have left, such as your Eddie Betts's and Bruce and all the rest of it. Tim Kelly probably being the biggest transfer of the whole thing, going out west to Perth to the West Coast Eagles. I can only imagine that is going to be an absolutely outstanding move for him and the West Coast Eagles, who are actually going to call it right now, who are the team that I fancy to really push on for the Premiership next year. Obviously, they never got to the grand final, but with that capture of Tim Kelly, he just, for the way they play the game, the players that they've got, if they can keep their team fit and add him into it, I just think it makes unbelievable sense. So definitely a team to watch out for, without a doubt. Hello, everyone that's joining. You need to go to Collingwood, Carlton. Like, you're talking two vintage clubs there, two top clubs of the sport over the since the beginnings, Carlton and Collingwood. That would be an amazing game, I'd imagine, atmosphere-wise at the G. I would love to actually go to that. And do you know what could be quite interesting? Collingwood, you'd imagine, are going to be quite strong next year. And I can't imagine too much will go wrong for them. But Carlton are certainly a team that you've got to watch out for. They could actually do something. I'm not going to say they're going to win it. Definitely not. I don't think they're going to be that good where they're going to go and win it. But they're certainly a team you can't write off getting into the finals. Definitely not. I mean, the way they were playing towards the end of last year, if they could get a good start, and in that game, Carlton Collingwood would be an absolutely unbelievable experience anyway. But if they could get a good start and follow it on, you just do not know. How good are Richmond back-to-back, baby? So I'm not too sure if the question is, do I think Richmond will win back-to-back? Why not? Why not? I mean, you definitely can't say no. The way they played 2019, there was no other team that deserved to win it. Richmond were, without a doubt, not even close. Nobody came close to them, without a doubt, the best team in it. And I'm not going to get into the whole politics or the whole they had the favourable draw here or they had the games at the MCG. Regardless of that, I watched Richmond go to the Gabba, behind enemy lines at the Gabba, against a very, very good Lions team and absolutely dismantle them. And what they did in the grand final, everybody says, I'm sorry that the game was so bad in the grand final. I didn't see it that way. What I saw was an absolute masterclass. Sexy footy by Richmond, who are playing a brand of football I don't know if you've ever seen in the AFL before. We would call it kind of tiki-taka in soccer, that short, sharp, deliberate handballing game that goes to a man. Somebody's always moving into space, looking to receive the ball. They're working so hard off the ball for each other, and there's somebody always available for the pass. And they just blew everybody away. That last, 12 games in a row they won or something to go and win it. I mean, that standard, that level of footy just showed why they're champions. Absolutely outstanding. And I mean, outstanding to watch as a neutral. For me, if they can continue their style of footy and impose their game plan on everyone from the start, they're certainly going to be up there with what I think West Coast Eagles are going to be up there as well. That to me could potentially on paper be the grand final. It probably should be the grand final if you look at the two teams right now. The players that they have, obviously the way Richmond's ended, Tim Kelly going to West Coast Eagles when Nick Knapp possibly being fit for a full year. Wow, it's frightening. It's frightening stuff to think about. So really looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to other teams as well. I think Geelong are going to be a team that could struggle. Losing Tim Kelly is absolutely monumental. I don't care if they get 7 out of the 8 best draft picks or whatever it is. I don't care about that. These guys are untested. They're unproven at AFL level, at professional level, against men who have learned their craft, played the game. It's going to be difficult. Playing in front of crowds of 100,000 strong, 90,000 strong at the MCG. How can youngsters cope with that sort of pressure on their shoulders, if you like, to deliver the goods? So I think Geelong, they're an aging team. Yes, they're going to get a lot of youngsters coming in, but how ready are they? Certainly play with no fear. Youngsters sometimes have that ability to just play with no fear. They've really got nothing to lose. But when it's a difficult... Daddy, here's this one. On you go then. Here's your lollipop. Cheers, pal. Thank you. Distracted there. Sorry about that. I think that it's a pressure you're going to put on young guys to deliver. I think Geelong will be slightly out of the top 4 this year. I don't think they're going to do it coming up 2020. I'm not too sure what I think of the Lions. I do think they've been strong. Can lightning strike twice for them? Can they produce it again back to back? I would love to think they could, because they were a team I really, really enjoyed watching. Really strong players in their squad. So I hope for them that they'd be in and around it. I'm not too sure if they will, but certainly teams like Collingwood, you would imagine, would be in and around 4th or 5th. GWS in and around the same again. They're going from strength to strength every year. GWS have successfully got finals footy for the last 5-6 years or something, and they just get that step further. Whether it was a prelim final, grand final, can they get their hands on a flag? You just never know. I just think when you look at what Richmond did to them, even if they were full strength GWS, and if Richmond are on their game, playing their top game, GWS can't beat them. Even next year, they just can't beat them. But there's a lot of footy to be played. There's a lot of twists and turns in footy. You don't know who's going to get injured, players that are going to get potentially suspended, things that could happen. Maybe form will start going out. Maybe they'll start dropping in form. I couldn't see it. But certainly exciting stuff for next year to watch. Good question. Easy club. Who do you reckon will be the biggest faller on the ladder next season? Faller in the top 8 or faller in the whole ladder? If I was saying faller in the whole ladder, you can't see past it being Adelaide Crows. They've really just been... It's been an absolute... There's just been an exodus, a mass exodus of talent leaving Adelaide Crows. There seems to be something going really, really wrong there. Players that are there really don't want to be there. It doesn't look good. They could be relying on draft picks to hit the ground running and produce the goods straight away. But I think if you're looking for where they were to where they will be by the end of 2020, I think it could be Adelaide Crows that could be the biggest faller. It doesn't look good there unless a fucking fairy godmother comes down and does something out of the blue there. I'd imagine it's going to be tough times for the Crows. In terms of the top 8, I think it could be Geelong that could be the big faller in the top 8. I don't think we're going to see Essendon in the top 8 next year. I really don't. I think Bulldogs will get into the top 8 again. Most of the teams, minus maybe the Essendon. Essendon really went great when they got into the finals footy this year. It's difficult. It's really difficult. Stand up and be counted. Hello, Connor, mate. A lot of people coming in now. What are your top 4 favourite teams? Favourite teams in terms of who I like, or top 4. This goes to AFL edits 2K19. Sorry, it's because it's all one word. It was difficult to read it there. AFL edits 2K19. Please sort of make that question a little bit clearer. My own personal favourites, or who I think will be the top 4. Who are my favourites for top 4? Adrian, it would be awesome to have a beer and march down to the G. No matter who's playing, it would be. It's an experience for me. Connor, can I get your thoughts on Paddy Cripps? Absolutely outstanding. He was possibly my Brownlow medal winner, in my opinion. So I absolutely fucking love the guy. I think Patrick Cripps is absolutely phenomenal. And who knows how far he could go in the game. Possibly Brownlow medal next year. I think he was robbed. I honestly do think he was robbed. I think he was unbelievable. But next year, let's see if he can produce the goods from round 1 all the way through. And if Carlton can get in to the top 8, you've got to argue that's one of the best climbs from a team. Well, look at the Lions. Look what the Lions did. I think they did not finish third bottom, second bottom in 2018 to finish so high up in the ladder 2019. So there's absolutely no reason why Carlton can't back themselves and go and do that with David Teague's leadership. And the way he wants to play the game as well really fits their style. Eddie Betts coming in. Even if Eddie Betts doesn't play a lot of footy, you can't help but think having that guy on a training field with some of the younger guys, teaching them ways to go about doing certain things, improving them mentally. How does he prepare for games? That experience rubbing off at the younger guys who are already full of potential, like say your Sam Walshes and stuff, your Colonel brothers. Cripps is relatively young as well, but you would think that he's been there a long, long time the way he plays. So that sort of experience of Eddie Betts going to Carlton, you just can't help but think it's going to be an absolute stroke of genius from Teague getting him in down there. Really looking forward to the Navy Blues next season to see what they can do. I'd love to see them getting top 8. It would be fantastic, I think. And as you've already said, somebody said, Carlton, Collingwood. Wow, what an atmosphere that is. 2 institutions within the sport in Carlton and Collingwood. 2 massive, massive, massive footy clubs. There's no doubt about that. Boasting some of the biggest memberships in the game. And the way the Carlton fans have actually backed their club for being so low down that ladder over the last lot of years anyway, the loyalty that they've shown, you can't help but think their numbers will grow when Carlton grow on the footy field as well. Clash, I'm still a bit upset in that Fife won the Brownlow. I agree with you entirely, mate. Very, very disappointing for Patrick Cripps not getting it, or even Lockie Neal as an outsider. But definitely agree with that statement, mate. Credit to Nat Fife, he was fantastic, great player. I just thought other people were maybe a little bit better over the year. But that's sport, isn't it? Sometimes you get decisions you just can't believe. But if it had been done by the fans or done by fellow professionals, you can't help but think it possibly could have been Patrick Cripps. But it's done by the umpires. And that Fife's hard to miss, really, isn't it? Very, very, very difficult question, Tomo. Who are your best top 5 AFL players in the league? Well, we've mentioned 3 of them. I think Nat Fife, you can't argue that I'm being in there. Cripps, Neil, Kelly was outstanding as well. It's difficult. Who do I think would have got it, or who do I like? I wish I seen a little bit more of Nick Nat. If he was back, he's a freak of nature. I like Grundy. I like Sidebottom and Steel Sidebottom. Sorry, and Pendlebury at Collingwood. I've liked young Walsh. Sam Walsh there. He got the rising star on the Dons channel. Really, really good player. Dangerfield's a fantastic legend of the game. Was he in the top 5 for the Brownlow? I'm not so sure about that, but certainly an absolute legend. Really good player. I personally think he didn't really have a great last 6 months. And Gary Ablett Jr. as well, I would put in that same category. They didn't produce the goods in the business end of the year for Geelong. So Dangerfield, there's no denying how great a player he's been in his career. But for me personally, 2019 was not fantastic for him. James went missing in the second half. Absolutely. Spot on there. How do you feel about the league playing the decider at a certain ground every year? Playing the decider, do you mean like the home final? Or not too sure. Claire, if you could, or Darren, sorry. Darren, sorry, can you sort of explain that question a little bit better, and then I'll answer it as best I can. How much do you like Dusty Martin? I mean, who the fuck doesn't like Dusty Martin? Unless you're a Richmond hater. Everybody would want, all bullshit aside, guys, who wouldn't want Dusty Martin in their team? He's a superstar. I fucking love him. I can't really say too much more on it. He's just cool as fuck. He can play. He's hard. He's just got it all. He's what footy's all about. I would want him in my team. Genius player. Joe, well, Ed Mack, hey Don, nice to see you live, mate. The tally on me watching your Dusty 17 reaction vid is up to 23. Love it. Thanks very much, Ed. 23 times, wow. Thank you. Just going back to that Dusty thing, I think he's an absolute superstar. He's a pleasure to watch. Just back to that other question. Decider means the grand final. Where should it be played? MCG, no doubt about it. No debate. MCG. You do not change that. It's absolutely mental. I think it was Chris Scott, wasn't it, that was bumping his gums a little bit about that. It seems to rear its ugly head every single year where the grand final should be played. It's absolutely ridiculous argument. Home finals, on the other hand, yes, everyone should have their home final. If you're the team in that position where you qualify for the home final, it should be at your home ground, no debate there. But if it's the MCG for the grand final, that's where it stays. That is where it should always be. That's where it's always been. That's where it should always be. So there's absolutely no debate in my eyes about that. Where do you think Carlton will finish next season? I'm going to put all my chips on the table and say I think Carlton will get a top 8 finish. I think David Teague, if you look at the way they finished, really brought them from strength to strength. Now that Eddie Betts is there as well, with a couple other guys coming in, you just don't know how far that team could go. Really enjoying some of the younger players and some of the more senior figures now as well. Really enjoying them. The Curnow brothers really, really impressed me as well. So there's a lot of players I like there. Top 8. Hopefully, I'm going to go as far as to say I hope they get there. I would really like to see Carlton get top 8. Do I think they're going to do it? I actually do think they're going to do it. So we'll have to wait and see. AFL edits 2K19. What is your favourite AFL team logo? That's a toughie, isn't it? I'm actually going to go with the Bulldogs. I actually do think it's a really nice logo. It's the Western Bulldogs. Not because I've said I like them, because I really want to answer that question as honestly as possible. I think it's a cracker with the Bulldog on it, with the red, white and blue stripe through it and the sort of shield in the background. I think that's a really nice Really, really nice logo. That's a good question. It's a different question. Thanks, mate. The Tigers is a nice logo as well. Yeah, really nice logo too. People coming up and saying the Tigers. What was your favourite standout match this season? There was a game that I'm going to say, and everybody will be like, what the fuck is he talking about? Because it really meant nothing. It was right at the end. It was the last game of the ladder, I think, or the second last game. I'm going to have to look back at my notes after this. St Kilda versus Carlton. Absolutely nothing to play for other than pride. And I'm not joking you. It was played in the true spirit of contact sport. Both teams really went head-to-head against each other. It was played in the most fair and firm way. I absolutely loved it. And the reason why I was saying it was probably my favourite was because it meant fuck all, really, in terms of ladder standings. No team was going to win any silverware. No team was going to get top 8. They were just literally playing for pride and playing for the fans who had been backed them all season through. And still continue to go to the games to watch them, even though they've really had poor seasons by both club standards. So that game really stood out for me in the sense that, nothing to play for, but they gave it everything they've got, and they really played for the fans. So I absolutely loved that game. Connor was there. How good was the game, mate? It was absolutely fantastic. Loved it. Your team in Scotland, Dom. I'm a Glasgow Rangers supporter. Rangers Football Club. Red, white and blue. Hence the reason why I quite like the Bulldogs and the AFL with the red, white and blue. Absolutely love them. From cradle to grave, from womb to tomb. Die-hard Rangers Football Club. Love them. A lot of people saying shocking grand final. In terms of competitiveness, I certainly understand that statement. But in terms of masterclass footy, sexy footy, I was blown away, absolutely blown away by the Tigers. They thoroughly deserved it. Look, as a neutral, you could argue that wasn't very tight. That was shite. It was an absolute fucking runaway victory. But I looked at it slightly differently from that. I looked at it in terms of the way Richmond played. They managed, sure, for the first 10, 15 minutes of the game, it was very, very tight. First quarter, you could argue. Giants kept the scoring down from the Tigers, didn't they, in the first quarter? Which was probably going to their game plan. Keep Richmond quiet for the first half, but they couldn't manage it. Second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter was an absolute masterclass. Richmond stepped up, dropped the gear, boom, 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 and away they went. They just showed why they're champions. They're absolutely a pleasure to watch. So for me, it was a great grand final. No way, mate. David Hedgecock, you lost relatives in the 66 people that died in the Ibrox disaster. Oh, mate, absolutely devastating. 66 people died, and I crashed down the stairwell at Ibrox at the Copeland stand. Absolutely devastating. So thoughts out to you, your family. I'm not too sure how well you knew them, but obviously your relatives, mate, devastating. But good Rangers man, fellow Rangers man, happy days, mate. You're from good stock. What stadium would you like to see a game at next season? Obviously the MCG. But I'd love to go to the Marvel Stadium. But if I had a choice to go to any other stadium as well, I'm going to be going to the Adelaide Oval, probably the Marvel, and obviously the MCG as well when I visit. But one stadium I'm not going to get to visit that I would love to visit because it looks an absolutely unbelievable stadium is the Optus Stadium. I'm not going to be able to see it. So I'd love to see it for that reason. But the Marvel Stadium looks like a real modern day classic stadium. But the MCG obviously... goes without saying, really, doesn't it? Wow, clash. I predict Bulldogs and Collingwood grand final. Come on. Who's better, Cyril Rioli or Eddie Betts? To be honest with you, I've came to the sport that late and I've covered both players on my channel and I've watched quite a bit of Eddie Betts. Wow, that's a difficult question. I think if you look at Cyril Rioli's probably had more honours as a player, trophies to his name, medals on his chest. So on that note, it's probably like Cyril Rioli, but some of the things that I've witnessed Eddie Betts do are frightening, absolutely frightening. What a player he is. Really, really tough question. I would probably put it down to Cyril Rioli based on the honours, but the things that guy Betts can do with the foot is mind-blowing. Really tough question, mate. Don't know. Good question, but too tough for me as somebody that's really late to the sport and in terms of those two guys' careers. I've not seen an awful lot of them playing live. Obviously, Eddie Betts missed a few games this year as well. Cyril Rioli's kind of retired just before. I would have loved to seen him. I actually seen him playing up in the Northern Territory there. I've seen some highlights of him playing, and I'm not joking you. The guy's still fucking got it. He's got it. I mean, obviously, form is temporary, class is permanent. And it's a little bit slower paced up there, so it obviously suits him. But what a player he was. Wow, great question. Mirror Girl, boom. Thank you so much, Diane, for the donation. Really, really appreciate that donation. Nice to speak to you again. I've not spoke to you in a while. I do speak to you through Facebook and stuff as well, so really appreciate that. Don't worry. Sorry I'm late to the party. And I'm sorry you're late to the party because I'm going to have to pick up my daughter in about 2 minutes. I'm going to have to leave to pick up my daughter from hockey. So I'm really sorry that I'm not going to be able to speak to you live, but we will plan one soon. Disappointed now that I'm going to have to go after you've just donated and you've came, obviously. Mirror Girl there who's donated is someone who's been with me near enough from the start of my AFL journey and really helped me along the way. Somebody I really, really respect and real friend to the channel. So I'm really disappointed now I'm going to have to go that you've joined. For everybody else that's... please do watch the show. It's been really a good chat with some new faces, some regular faces as well. People that's been with me from the start talking as well. Some really good questions. It's difficult questions to answer. But it's been actually a really good, positive, live AFL chat. I've really enjoyed it. For anybody that's new, I hope you've enjoyed it too. I really enjoy taking questions. I really enjoy putting my opinion across. That's all it is. I'm not really trying to offend. I'm not trying to offend anyone with my opinion. It's just answer it to the best of my ability and ultimately as honestly as I can, as a neutral, and how I see the game as somebody that's really just still. I do feel I've learned an awful lot. I feel like my learning curve for the sport's not like that anymore. It's more like that. So next year, start of 2020, I bloody can't wait for it. We're going to get a full year on the Don's channel and indeed the Dawn of World Sports in the AFL 2020. And maybe do some women's stuff just before that as well. But as I was saying, my learning curve's not as steep now. It's like that there. So I feel that I can... give you even greater in-depth detail to the sport next year. And hopefully my opinions will be as close to as bang on as I can get them in a neutral sense. Even as I've said, like I do like the Bulldogs. I mean, I'm not blinded with red, white and blue tinted specs where I'm going to throw my teddy bear out the pram and not give credit where credit's due to a team that might go out next year and destroy the Bulldogs. If the Bulldogs need called out for doing something wrong or if the other team's playing well, I will always, always, always give it as honest an opinion as I possibly can and give it great in-depth review as I can. I do a lot of research into each game leading up to it as well, and my predictions. There's a lot goes on behind the scenes. Last year I worked tirelessly to get my predictions as accurately as possible, and I was missing 2 or 3 weeks in a row. Out of 9 games, I got 8 right and 1 wrong, and the one that I got wrong, nobody would have called it. So that was 2 or 3 weeks that happened. So I'm really doing my research into this, and I'm going to continue to work that hard for everyone to give you the people who are supporting the channel, as good content as I can possibly give you, because of your support means that much to me that I owe it to you to give it as best detail as I possibly can. So I will work as tirelessly as I did in 2019. But as I say, my learning curve won't be like that. It'll be more like that. So it should be pretty good content. I'm sure it will be. I hope so. Not trying to blow my own trumpet. I really do hope so. Like, my passion does shine through. A lot of people comment that are just new to the channel. You're so passionate. I really am. It's not. I'm one of the emotional people that it just comes out of me. I always get told I wore my heart on my sleeve and nothing will change. Absolutely love the sport. Absolutely pleasure to watch, pleasure to speak to people down under about the sport and their team that they like and things that when they're going to the game. Some people send me videos of their experience watching their home team, the journey up to the ground. For me, it's an absolute joy to watch that because I've not experienced those grounds, whether it's at the GmbHA and they get down in Geelong, or if it's at the Adelaide Oval or out west, or if we're down in Tassie. People show me videos down in Tassie. What a beautiful, beautiful part of the world Tasmania is. So I would love to see a team there to answer any questions that might have been on there about that. Tasmania thoroughly deserves an AFL team. But so send videos of your experiences next year to me through social media. I love watching them. I love engaging with the supporters of the sport. Like me, I'm beginning to be a diehard for this sport. All I need now is to just experience it at the grounds. So keep the videos coming, keep the messages coming, and I'll give you as much AFL content up until 2020 season starts. Whether it's reaction videos, live chats like this, me trying to kick a share and whatever, we'll just footy. But don't miss out on footy talk on my social media as well, which I will put into the description section of the video after we come off the live stream. I'll put all of that stuff in. I've not done it before this. But as I say, thanks very much, Diane, for the donation. I really, really, really appreciate it. So generous. And I look forward to talking to you later through social media as well. Thanks again, everyone. See you soon. Have a great weekend. I appreciate it's probably night time where you are now, but I hope you've had a good Saturday. My day's only beginning here on Saturday. We're nearly 10:30 in the morning, so my day's just starting here Saturday wise, and it's pissing down with rain, so it's shite weather as per usual. But we won't let it affect our day. So have a good Sunday as well. Thanks very much. I am the Don Father. This is the Don's channel. One more thing, don't forget to subscribe to the Don of World Sports. We've got loads of AFL stuff going on that as well. More unhinged reactions where I can't hold back my curse words because that's what I'm like. I just swear and I can't help myself. So that's the channel for you, the Don of World Sports. I'll put the link for that in the description section below as well after the video when I get home. Thanks for all your support and all the questions. I really enjoyed it. I hope you did too. I'll see you all soon. Goodbye.